I want the bits from Betty Wheatley because we win. That is our motto. Sometimes we win, sometimes we don't win. Don't give us the bird, don't give us your stink eye. We try our best and we're successful. Come watch our show. Red River sponsors. It's time to start. Enjoy the show. Yeah, give me your picks. Give me your insights. I want the bits from Betty Wheatley because we win. That is our motto. Sometimes we win. Sometimes we don't win.
Yeehaw, here we go. Now, this is Simon Holden for Betting Weekly Live. It is Friday, the 6th of June. I've got terrible hay fever. Let me apologize in advance. Welcome in, everyone. But first, my man Tim Dennis, the tennis expert, is here. How are you doing, Tim?
Hi, Simon. Good to be on. Yeah, fortunately, don't have hay fever like you, but yeah, we're lucky to be okay.
Right, here we're going to go, folks. We are all about live betting, live prices, getting you live. The first semi-final in Roland Garros is on now. We're going to preview the second one later. We've got loads of soccer, international, South American, the works. But Tim, what is happening in the first semi live?
Yeah, well, Alcaraz has just taken the first game of the fourth set. Musetti started well, winning the first set 6-4. Alcaraz took the second set on a tiebreak and has just steamrolled through the third set there, winning it 6-love. Musetti looks in a bit of trouble now. He's had the physio on a couple of times. He's looking up at his box a little bit sort of worryingly. He looks in a little bit of an issue here at the moment. I think Alcaraz is a minus 10,000 shot now with Musetti at plus 5,500. The spread is 8.5 with the totals at 37.5 over and under. So Musetti needs to steady the ship here. Hasn't won a game in the last 7 games, and he just needs to steady the ship and get back in a bit of a groove because he looks in trouble right now.
Right, so it's looking pretty one-sided. Well, Tim, you keep your eyes peeled on that. I'm going to carry on, do some football, but I will keep coming back to you. If anything really important, please feel free to shout it out, Tim, and let us know.
Will do.
Good man. Big shout out to my man Rory Barlow. He put us on yesterday. What a second semi-final in the Nations League. We got Mbappe, we got the overs. Following on from Dangerous Dan Roebuck tipping Portugal on the Asian money line. We really have done the business in the Nations League semis. The finals on Sunday. We'll be previewing that for you later. But firstly, let's look at some Thursday winners and losers. Now, a big win was 25,200 on Coco Gauff on the money line, minus 556 to beat the fairy tale Louis Boisson. Of course, that was a winner, and Coco Gauff is in the women's final tomorrow, which we'll be previewing with Tim. 22,900 on Leo Villeban v AS Monaco over 166.5. Basketball, that was a win, so Bet Rivers paid out there. 21,000 on Thunder in v the Pacers. That was a loss, so Bet Rivers kept that. And 20,000 on Sabalenka on the money line, minus 385. That was, of course, a winner. Now, Friday live streams, and I'm going to give you some lanes in these games. The two big South American World Cup qualifiers between Colombia and Peru, and Venezuela and Bolivia are both available for live stream. Also, Jannik Sinner v Novak Djokovic, which we will be featuring very, very soon. That is available for live stream, so you've got to get involved there. Hartford Athletic v North Carolina FC in the USL Championship game. That is also available to live stream, as is the Nordic Masters. So let's start on the World Cup qualifiers that you can see live stream: Colombia v Peru and Venezuela v Bolivia. Now, Venezuela v Bolivia at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Venezuela are in 7th and Bolivia are in 8th place.
Sorry, Simon, that Alcaraz has just broken Musetti there, and straight away in the fourth set. This one looks all. I think he's just retired. Musetti, he's retired. He's called it a day. This game is over.
Oh, so is that end? It's gone completely?
Yeah, all done. Yeah, he shook his hands at the net as we speak. I think he's got maybe a hamstring injury, perhaps. But
Right.
yeah, it's all finished. Yeah, Alcaraz through.
Great stuff. There's no escape from Alcaraz. As we said, the winner in Rome has got one hand on the title. Perhaps he's in the final. We'll be seeing who will be playing. Thanks for that, Tim. Very quickly, hi, Duncan. Hi, Raquel. Hey, Daniel. Get everybody in. Let me know what you're betting today, be it in the tennis, in the soccer. Let's get this community going. Steve from Lynn. Hi, guys. Thanks again for the show yesterday. Simon, I hit big. Taylor, I appreciate it. Absolutely. That is our pleasure. Now, let's get back to Venezuela v Bolivia. As I said, it's 7th v 8th here. Venezuela's home form is decent. 2 wins, 2 draws in the last 5. Bolivia, their away form is absolutely shocking. And that leads me to think that Venezuela over 2.5 goals, which has copped in 4 of the last 5 home qualifiers, is the way to go in this. And I've got one other selection, which is just Venezuela to win. I'll bring up the price for you now. Venezuela to win. Minus, it's not a great price. My other lean would be the unders, minus 134. I think Venezuela will get this beat, and Bolivia is so poor away from home that a Venezuela win. And the anytime scorer bet I would go for is Rondon, who is available at, I'm really sorry, my internet is freezing up slightly. But there we are. Solomon Rondon, anytime scorer, plus 102. They're my leans for you in that game. Do get involved. It is available to live stream. And the second game we are featuring is Colombia v Peru. Now, that kicks off at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Colombia are ranked 6 in these qualifiers, and Peru do not travel, apart from Paddington Bear. I don't think Peru travel very well at all. Colombia are unbeaten in their 5 home qualifying games, and I do not see that changing tonight. So my selections in that one, my leans are Luis Diaz, who is on fire to score at any time, and Colombia to win to 0, which was about 1.85. Unfortunately, that's not coming up at the moment. Please do check on that. I also fancy the unders in this game as well. So Colombia and Venezuela look pretty solid if you want to parlay them in tonight's games there. And they are available to live stream. Now let's come over to Europe, where we have Italy v Norway tonight. Now, this is a World Cup qualifying game. Norway are on something of a winning streak here. Now, they, of course, got Haaland up front. And Italy, who went out at the quarterfinal stage at the Nations League, are on a bit of a rebuilding job here, Tim, because Italy, of course, did not qualify for the last World Cup and will be looking to qualify this time under Spalletti. Now, on this game on the money line, 89% of the money and 82% of the tickets, get this, are on Italy. And on the over-unders market, 61% of the money is on the unders and 77% of the tickets are on over. Now, interestingly, in this game, just bring up my notes if you just hang on, is that, here we are. Sorry about this, folks. Here we are. Norway have a very, very strong home record, 3 wins in the last 5 home games. Haaland, the Man City striker, is on fire with 11 goals in 6 recent internationals. Now, Norway's defense has been shaky, conceding 4 in their last 5. But Italy, I think, here will look to keep this tight. And I think the play here is on the tie. Now, I think this will be under 2.5 goals as well. I would go on the unders. But the bet, it's almost like a Ghostbusters bet, is Haaland to score at any time. And I say that, Tim, because I do think if Norway are going to score, there's only really one man who will do it, and that is Haaland. Now, let's see if we have unblocked on there. I'm sure we have upcoming. Let's get some prices for these. Norway and Italy. Yes, we're back. So Norway are plus 170 like they were, but the prop bets to score any time, Haaland.
Do you like the Haaland any time, or do you like the first pass? Simon?
I like this. I like the Haaland any time. It's plus 380. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. But my Bet Rivers site had frozen up. But we're back now, and nobody noticed him. Plus 143. I thought any time. I do like that. I do like that bet, Tim. He is an outstanding player, but I do think that Norway's recent winning form is against inferior teams, and I do think Italy coming to town will pose a much sterner defensive threat. So I like the tie here, Tim. I don't know about you. Plus 205. I think the tie is often under bet, and I do think it's a highly likely score, maybe 1-1. But have you got any thoughts in this game?
Yeah, I probably follow suit with you there. I'm not a big fan of those sort of games that look a bit tight and sort of like three-way plus money there to be heading towards the draw as well at the same time. So that would only be a lean from me. I'm no Norway football expert, I must admit, but when I see sort of what is it, plus 170, plus 240, I think the ties will probably where I'll be leaning. But I'll probably leave it to your expertise, I think, to be honest, Son.
Well, that's very kind. I think Dan Roebuck, dangerous Dan Roebuck, can Rory win in Canada? We'll come to that later. Steve Wisser said Norway, it's about time they won a big game. That's probably true. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 for Blink of God. Dan's put Norway. I think this Italy team are more than capable of coming here and getting a draw. And I think that they would accept that, to be honest. So I think this will be a good game. I do think, excuse me, that Haaland will score. But 1-1, I'm going as a correct score. So Italy to come away from the Alivi with a draw tonight. Now we have England in action tomorrow against Andorra. Now, have you seen a bigger price than this? England, no offers. Andorra, well, I think you can ring in and ask for whatever price you want. Now, Andorra have not scored, Tim, against England in a competitive match. So I think that's 4 matches that they've played. They're yet to score. Now, interestingly, on the goal scorer market, we don't have any Andorra players because we can't see them scoring. And interestingly enough, Andorra have only won one international match. That was against San Marino. And I often think what the San Marino players must have felt like going home that night, having lost their one chance to win a game. So what is going to happen here? Now, have you got any prop bets that you like in this, Tim?
Yeah, well, like you said, it's obviously a dominant fixture for England, this, and they should be winning it comfortably, shouldn't they? I think the last meetings they've met, England have a combined score total of 25-0. So you can't see Andorra sort of troubling the judge, really. I think the last couple of times they met, Saka scored in both games, I think in a 4-0 and a 5-0 route. And I think he's a touch of minus money to score any time again. Though the one that sort of did appeal to me, though, as an anytime goal scorer was Declan Rice at plus money. I think at any time he was plus 480, which I thought was quite a bit of value. He's had 5 goal involvements in his last 6 England games, scoring 2 of them. And I think in his last 10 internationals, he's had 12 shots, 5 of them which have hit the target from what I had a look at. And you've obviously seen a few of his great free kicks for Arsenal. So it'd be interesting if he's on free kick duty. And I wouldn't have thought he's going to be having to do too much defensive midfield play in this game. And he'll be sort of looking to get forward. And I just thought that as a value play, plus 480 for him any time looked pretty fair to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think England are 1-16 to win to 0. So that's not really an angle. Now, to create value within a game like this is always difficult. But I did see something that I thought was a smidgen of value, and that was on the correct score. And the reason I think it's value, Tim, is because it's quite clear to me that Andorra could play all night and not score. Now, that means we can take them out of the equation in correct scores. England's physicality, they're going to be rotating players. People like Ivan Toney will probably come in. He could be a good bet for an anytime scorer, very, very solid. He'll want to rack up a few goals. But I do think that in that last 20 minutes, because Andorra will just defend, keep England out for 20. In that last quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. England's physicality, they could overrun. And 6-0 was plus 800 and 7-0 was plus 1400. And I did think for the old Andorra pizza money, you could maybe Dutch those two scores and you could have a little value play. It's very difficult to get any juice out of this game. But you've got to play in the anytime scorers. Anybody who's an attacking midfielder or a front player is going to get plenty of chances tomorrow. And that little opportunity to create some value, the fact that we don't think Andorra will score means we can put the big fat zero in the correct scores and play some at bigger prices. So there would be my plays there. Of course, Thomas Tuchel, Tim, talked the big talk, didn't he? Things were going to be very different. England are going to be attacking. Though he is unbeaten, it's not been devastatingly attractive to watch, has it, to be honest?
No, not so far. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he goes about this game, whether he wants to sort of let the shackles off and try and let him go and score 6 or 7, or whether he's just happy with them sort of winning 4-0 comfortably and then just getting the job done. Obviously, England have got an abundance of attacking players and flair players now going forward. So, I mean, I'm sure if they want to, they can comfortably rack up sort of 5 or 6 minimum. I think over 3.5 goals in the game is heavy minus money, isn't it? So that kind of tells you what it should be doing. And like you say, Andorra shouldn't be troubling our goalkeeper too much. So it's just a question of how many England are going to get and perhaps how many they want to get.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. There. Now I want to look at the USA and Canada. The USA, the World Cup the preparations are getting underway. The atmosphere is building. Pochettino welcomes Turkey. USA available at plus 138, the tie at plus 240, and the visitors Turkey at plus 180. Now, of course, it is a friendly in name, but the USA are not really playing any friendlies. They're hosting the tournament. They have to be right. So this is a very, very serious game. And coming into it, USA been strong on home form, 4 wins in the last 5. They have been conceding in those games, though. But Turkey, Vincenzo Montella's team, away form, only 1 win in the last 5. And they lost recently 3-1 to Iceland, exposing a very, very weak back line. Some stats here to think about. In 4 of the last 5 home friendlies, in quotes, because they're all serious games for the USA, over 2.5 goals has landed. Turkey, both teams to score in 3 of their last away games, has landed. It may look like kind of bleeding obvious here, Tim, but I do think there's going to be goals here. And I do think the USA are a good bet to win. Over 2.5 goals, and a USA win would be the play for me. Any views on this one?
I think that goals probably, I'll swing along there with you. I think they'll be, obviously the USA will be trying out a few things, a few different players, trying to move forward and trying to see who fits in best. So I think even in a friendly, that gives the opportunity for goals to flow. So I'd agree with you there, and I'd be heading for over 2.5. It's just a slight shade of minus money, isn't it?
It's going to be a great World Cup. It's going to be fascinating. So to all our USA viewers, I do hope you get the win and keep building. You've got a great manager and exciting times ahead. And I think you're going to give Turkey plenty to worry about tomorrow. Now, let's look at Canada, who welcome Ukraine. And this game is frozen again. Let's go back. I'm going to stick to here. This game here, Canada plus 117. The tie is plus 230, and Ukraine are plus 245. Now, Ukraine are a bit leaky at the back, similar to Turkey. I do think this Canada team has got goals in it. Over 2.5 is minus 112. That could be the way to go. And both teams to score no, I would suggest. I think Ukraine will struggle tomorrow. And I think this could be a 1 or 2-0. So, yeah, I'm going Canada. I'm going the home team. Have you got any thoughts on this one, Tim?
Yeah, but Canada unbeaten at home in their last 3 games, so obviously quite comfortable on their own patch. And Ukraine sort of coming off a 3-0 defeat to Belgium away from home, so perhaps travelling for them right now might not suit them ideally. So yeah, a good chance to Canada to get a win on the board.
Yeah, and this match is part of the inaugural Canadian Shield. Will take place in Toronto, and so we're both going for the home team there. So we've got an exciting set of games. I do think the Norway-Italy is probably the pick. The two South American teams look rock solid for the home teams. I think Canada and USA. I think there's a lot of good 3-4 game parlays probably on that. And of course, the England game, it's pays your money, whatever prop bets you fancy. It's the only angle in that game. So I think USA will win. I think Canada will win. And I think that Venezuela will do the business as well. Now, we are in a very exciting stage of the tennis, Tim. We have one semi-final left tonight to see who plays Alcaraz in the final. Now, it seems to be a pretty much 50-50 split with the previews that I've seen. Now, of course, Jannik Sinner needs to dispose of Novak Djokovic. So let's have a look at the prices here. Now, at the very start of this tournament, I watched the first game bet match where Sean and Nigel sort of said this is the ultimate favourites tournament. And of course, so far, at least it's panned out that way, hasn't it? With Jannik Sinner and Alcaraz sort of imperiously making their way through the field. So Bet Rivers on the prices, we've got Jannik Sinner at -420, the GOAT Djokovic at +325. And is it the procession it looks, Tim, or can we find some angles here?
Well, hopefully we can find some angles. And it's interesting you say about the number 1 and 2 seed. Obviously, if Sinner wins this match tonight, he'll be the world number 1. Will be through to the final to meet Alcaraz, who's obviously just got there too. And actually, on the women's side of the draw, you've got the world number 1 and 2 in their final as well. So it's worked out exactly as the seedings have imagined. And like you say, almost predictable if you like. The world number 1 and 2 looks like being in the final of the men's and the women's. But as far as this Djokovic game goes tonight, he obviously didn't do us any favors taking out Zverev in the last round, but Zverev was so passive in that game and just played into Djokovic's hands. You saw how far behind the baseline he was. I think Djokovic hit over 30 drop shots in that game, and he's just not going to be able to do something like that tonight. Sinner will be the aggressive one. He'll be bossing these rallies. He won't be camped out behind the baseline, and he's probably a better mover than Zverev as well. So I think you'll see a completely different game unfold to what we saw with Zverev the other night. And Sinner, to me, I mean, he's almost the new Djokovic. Looking at it, he's just so consistent, and his effectiveness is coming to hand. He hasn't dropped a set so far. I think in 3 of his 5 matches, he's had a 6-0 set already in the tournament so far. He's on a 19-match winning streak in Grand Slams. I think Djokovic holds the record of that. Actually, it's 30 in between 2015 and 16. So you can just see the kind of match we're going to get here. Sinner's won 11 of his last 12 matches against top 10 opponents, and in those matches he hasn't dropped a set. So those just tell you that how well he's been playing. His only loss coming against Alcaraz on his comeback in Rome a fortnight ago, when perhaps he just needed to run a bit. It looked like in terms of equine terms, to steal a phrase there, he just looked a little bit one game too far on his comeback, having looked excellent all the way up to it. And for me, I just think he's going to have too much for Djokovic here. I think the bet I did like was Djokovic was his total games was 16.5, and I was looking to go under that because I thought even if Djokovic took a set, that you might still end up cashing that bet. I just don't see him causing enough problems. I think last time these two met in a Grand Slam, Djokovic come unstuck 6-1, 6-2, taking a third set in a tiebreak, but then losing the final set 6-3 in Australia. Obviously, this is clay today, slightly different. They've only met on clay once, but that was 4 years ago back in Monaco. So I don't think you can pay too much heed to that. And I think Djokovic at the age of 38, obviously this is we spoke before about these kind of Grand Slams being the be all and end all, but I think it just at the stage of their careers now where Sinner's coming to the very peak and Djokovic may just slightly be on the wane, and if that's the case, I see just Sinner just being just too aggressive for him here tonight.
Let's have a look at where the money has been going with Bet Rivers. On the money line, 70% of the money and 58% of the tickets on Sinner. They might think that's a bit low. 71% of the money and 90% of the money on the over-unders is on the overs. So 79%, I will get this right. Oh dear, I'm sorry, now I'm freezing on here. Let's have a look at the notable wages. We'll come to that. 2,750 on over 36.5 total games at -114. And we've had a bet of 2,000 on Jannik Sinner at 2.5 sets +155. Now, in each of Djokovic's last 6 completed Grand Slam semis have gone under the total match games line. Jannik Sinner has covered the game spread in each of his last 4 Grand Slam semis. Sinner has won each of his last 19 Grand Slam main draw matches, and Sinner has won each of his last 8 Grand Slam main draw matches in straight sets. Now, that's fascinating for anybody thinking of playing the straight sets here. Now, I said to you off camera, Tim, for the romantic that's going to throw $5, $10 at this game is going to put it on Djokovic. But, you know, that cold steel approach that you're showing, you really think that the romantic's not going to get what they want here, and he might get... he might start to feel very ill very quickly in the as this game gets well underway. Do you think? And it could be a blowout and set up a fantastic final. Yeah,
well, it will obviously be a great final if Sinner can come through tonight, and like their head-to-heads 4-all. But the key stat there is Djokovic has lost the last 4. Like I said, in that Grand Slam defeat in Australia, there where he I think Sinner wasn't favourite. I think Djokovic was a -200 favourite for that game, actually. So kind of shows you how far he's come. But yeah, it was just the way I saw the game going. I don't think Zverev sort of let Djokovic do what he wanted to the other night. And Sinner won't do that. He's obviously full of confidence. He'll be the one dominating these rallies, I think, and pushing Djokovic around more. And I just think I think it'll catch up with Djokovic at 38 years old, and he'll just won't be good enough to beat this guy who looks at the top of his game at the moment and only going on to bigger and better things.
To set up what will be an incredible final if it pans out like that. Now, tomorrow, of course, in Paris, we have the women's final. Now, we'll take a quick look at that now between Sabalenka and Coco Gauff. I know Nigel feels that Coco Gauff might have a better chance than the odds imply. Those odds with Bet Rivers are +175 and Sabalenka is -215. Their set betting. Well, you can have a look at that, Tim. I'm afraid my hay fever eyes are closing quick. I'm struggling to connect on some of these things, so I apologize, but I can't.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I think the set betting Sabalenka there 2-0. She's just +120 with 285 for 2-1, and Gauff 390 at 2-0 and +460 for 2-1 with the over 3.5 sets over. Total sets over 2.5 +132 and under 2.5 -150 with the game spread at 3.5 in favour of Gauff, and the totals at over and under 21.5. So yeah, it looks like a fascinating final. Like we said, we've got the world's number 1 and 2. These two have got a head-to-head record. They've met 10 times. They're splitting that 5 and 5. So one of them's going to take lead in that head-to-head come tomorrow. 5 of those 10 games have gone the distance, and that probably really should have been 6, because in their last meeting in Madrid, Gauff had a set point to take it to that final set, but she couldn't manage to capitalise, and Sabalenka actually managed to take her out in a tiebreak. I've said this before to viewers who've watched some of the shows before, that the big concern I'd have with Gauff in these pressure moments is the double faults. Like I said, in that Madrid game, in a 2-set straight set match, she served 8, and excuse me, she actually ended up costing herself the set by serving those double faults just at the key times. And I think we spoke about a few key moments against Keys in that quarterfinal. She just lost the plot a little bit there, and whether nerves will play a part in this final, perhaps. Sabalenka has actually never made the finalist of this slam. She's obviously won slams previously, but it's her first time in a final here. Whereas Gauff has actually played a final here, losing to Iga Swiatek in 2024, and that 2023, and so that should stand her in good stead. The fact she's played a final here already. She was expected to go well here before she come here, Gauff. She had a favourable draw all the way up to the semi-finals, which was actually made easier when Andreeva got beat. And she's made the quarterfinals at least in the past 4 years here. Like I said, losing in that final there. These two have also met in a Grand Slam final before in the US Open when Gauff got the better of Sabalenka. So she won't have anything to fear. Like I said, at the 5-5 head-to-head record being tied, I actually thought I'd see this going all the way. A little bit like with Sabalenka yesterday. She was her serve wasn't quite there for the first set, and I think she'll give Gauff chances here. And Gauff certainly has the ability to make Sabalenka have to work hard. And the bet I like with Bet Rivers was over 2.5 sets. I did see this probably going all the way to a decider. I think that was plus 132 with Bet Rivers. I thought that was worth taking. I thought they both had their moments, and let them fight out in a deciding set if they want to.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating weekend. And Tim, you and all the rest of the tennis team, I think, have provided some fantastic coverage as we get to the end of a Roland Garros, and reiterated why Bet Rivers is the place, and Because We Win is the place for tennis betting. Right, tomorrow we have the pinnacle of our horse racing. We've got the English Derby at Epsom. Now, given our lifetime in horse racing between us, Tim, which must be about 130 years, it would be remiss.
120 to you and 10 to me, son.
Well, I was going to have it 90-30. There you go. At the moment, as I can't see, I'm prepared to say any amount. Now, Epsom Derby. Epsom, what a crazy place. Our American viewers have the run for the roses, of course, the Kentucky Derby. We have got Epsom. It's a huge field tomorrow. Just very quickly, we'll both give a selection. As it stands, we have 19 runners. That must be the most for quite a few years, Tim. And we've got Dela Cruz at favourite. The favourite is 4-1 plus 400. Pride of Aris at 4-1 plus 400. And Ruling Court. Now, is the race going to be won by the top three in the betting?
Well, perhaps. I mean, Aidan O'Brien has a strong hand, as he always tends to do in these kind of races. I think he has 3 with the favourite. He also had what was the anti-post favourite all over the winter, and the horse is aptly named the Lion in Winter, but he was disappointing in his trial there. But he was well supported for that trial, and I think Ryan Moore was looking at riding him all the way up to. I think he got drawn in stall 19 there, which some see as a bad draw. But it might not work out too bad, because if anybody knows Epsom, it's an uphill start, and they bear a little bit right before going left. So he will be on the inside for a little bit, but then maybe be caught out in a wing. A horse I did sort of take my eye was a French horse called Midak.
Mate, that's my selection as well.
Is it really? Okay. And yeah. I can promise viewers here, we haven't spoke about this.
No, we haven't.
So this is spot on. So yeah, he's been supplemented for the race by the owners. For 75,000 sterling. He's an unbeaten colt, 3 from 3, and I just saw in his previous race at St. Cloud, he had just a lovely way of going about him. He had a real good mind about him. He was extremely relaxed, no issues with the trip. I think the rain will be no problem to him. I think they're forecast a lot of rain in the UK tomorrow, so there's every chance this will be soft ground. And for those of you who haven't seen it, when they come into the straight there at Epsom, normally they'd stay on the far side, which is the inside way. But with there being a slight camber, they always tend to come over to the stand side, because you think that if the water runs down the track, the best ground is on the highest point. Yeah. So you'll probably see them doing that tomorrow. And yeah, I just thought with them supplementing this horse, they're obviously fairly confident they're going to at least get their money back. Not that they need the money, but he looks a lovely horse, and I thought he had a lovely way of going about him. So I think he was about plus 1,600 when I looked earlier on, and yeah, he would be my selection, and yours too, son, and by the looks of it.
Yeah. So about 14, 16 to 1. It will be 10:30 Eastern time. If you can watch the Derby, number 7, Midak, the French horse, is our big price play. And to be honest, Tim, given that my left eye is now completely closed, if you had emailed me what your selection was going to be, I couldn't have read it anyway. So no conferring there. There's the Derby. So thanks for hanging in with us there today, folks. Tim's given us some great advice on the tennis, the second semi, and the ladies final. Now, quickly, our newsletter is out now. If you're not signed up, and if you're not signed up to this channel, then I said 3 seconds. I'm going to give you 4 seconds today to subscribe and click the notification bell. Then you will find out whatever we are doing. And our newsletter is out. It is a US Open special. 3 of us are involved. We've given the 5 to follow, the outright selection, and our best bet of the tournament. I'll be back next week, hopefully, with Dan Roebuck to look at some of the plays in the US Open. So sign up to that newsletter. It's bettingweeklystudios.com and get those for free. They will be in your inbox tonight, and you will have the best information. Myself, John, and Dan Roebuck are involved in that. And also, there's loads of stats. It's a proper newsletter preview. So if you are playing on any of these games today and in the tennis, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for sticking with me. We got through it somehow. Remember, if these bets win, you'll forget about the fact that I couldn't read. So here's like doubly. Thanks a lot, Tim. Good luck in whatever you're doing in the tennis. Check out everything from Because We Win and the Betting Weekly Studios on the Roland Garros finals. And we will be back with Betting Weekly Live on Monday and take you through another sensational week of wagering. So, Tim, have a great weekend, mate, and enjoy the tennis and enjoy the Derby. Good luck.
Yeah, cheers, Sam. Good luck. Look forward to it.